I'm going to say good morning back. Good morning. My name is Karen Cohen. I'm Block Mum. And I'm giving away my age, I'm sorry. 1989, I entered Monash University as a science student. I had always been a really good student. I was good at maths, I was good at science, I was good at computer science. And guess what happened to me, guys, in 1989? I failed every subject. Everyone. I'd gone from the beautiful, cosy, wonderful space of school, where I learnt a lot and was handheld, to uni, which was scary, and no hand-holding, and I met a boyfriend, later became my husband, and got very distracted. So how does someone who failed all of first year uni at Monash end up being the opening speaker at the ACE Summer School? And how does a job like this, which didn't exist in those years, become my role? So that's my journey, and I'd love to keep talking to you about that without making crackly noises. So is anyone new to blockchain? Anyone never been? Oh, I love it. Welcome. Welcome. Wonderful. We are so excited to have you. This is the most welcoming, beautiful community. We're full of ideas. It's the Hollywood of technology. Everyone's got an idea for the blockchain. So it is really exciting to have new people, and this is a wonderful place to start. So hopefully you won't be overwhelmed with technology noise. As I mentioned, my name is Karen Cohen. I am known to the community as Block Mum. I've been here around 6 years. Thank you for the wonderful team. Anyone? Katrina? An original from way back. So I've been here, this is my 6th year in blockchain, and in any other I sold newspapers. Remember old-fashioned newspapers? And I was a telemarketer, and I looked around my uni job and I saw that there was this woman, and she was recruiting and training that I don't even know exists in the future. And we talk about in HR, we talk about two things: hard skills. So what skills do we need to get a job? And soft skills. What are some of the other skills we need to keep our jobs and to connect with other humans? And so we're going to talk through some of that today. But before I do that, a man filled a wheelbarrow with mobile phones in Germany. He put the phones in the wheelbarrow and he walked up and down a bridge, up and down, up and down. And guess what happened? He caused a traffic jam on Google Maps. Why did he do that? Because he could. So when we think about the design of technology and what we're doing right here in this room, and for those of us at home, are we thinking about the implications of that and how that's going to be in the future? When I joined in 2017, only 5% of Bitcoin buyers were women. And that motivated me, that made me think about diversity in technology. What is going on? Why is it mostly men? And young men, about 60% of Bitcoin buyers are between 20 and 40. So there's something about our industry that is excluding diversity. So I stood up very proudly and I said, at the Horby launch in Australia, every project should have a woman on their advisory panel. And I joined the Women in Blockchain movement. And what do you know, I ended up in the paper. Didn't know it was so important. But now, here we are, 6 years later. Guess what? We're still only 14%. So all that work still needs to be done. And then when I was working with Stone and Chalk, we also ran a program to help more with funding and startups. And again, I said, are we? Only 26% of data and AI people are women, cybersecurity 24%, and globally 8% of software developers are women. So the gap is still wide, and we still need to consider what is going on. Why are we not getting as many women in the industry? And what is the factors that contribute to that? So we ran a Women in Emerging Tech conference last year, and I sort of sat back and analysed what's going on. So between the ages of 12 and 13, the percentage of girls who say they're not allowed to fail increases to 150%. If you're afraid to fail, you don't give it a go. So if it's inbuilt in us, and when we're young we're scared to fail, what's going on for us? We lack confidence in what we're doing. And we all have diversity. Anyone know what that is up the top there? Pete, you're not allowed to answer. Anyone else? No? So anyone got a crypto wallet in the room? A few of you? Isn't storing the words just frightening? Do I print it out? Do I put it in my safe? Do I take a photo of it on my computer? This thing here is like a little Lego set. You put your seed words for your crypto wallet into it. The irony, here we are in a digital age. We are looking at digital currency. We're building Lego sets of metal to put our 26 seed words away. So we've got a long way to go when it comes to usability. So why did I start the Algo Hub? Well, I looked around and said, wow, there's just not enough blockchain developers. How can we, as an organisation, create more? And we worked with Algorand to do that. So there's two ways you can program on Algorand. One is Reach, and that is able to be used on Ethereum or Algorand, and it's JavaScript based, so if anyone would like to learn Reach, it's really quite easy. They run lots of hackathons. And we also run a free PyTeal course as well on Algo Hub. Feel free to come along to that. There is a scholarship for the assessment, and we give out an NFT for the certification as well. So when we're looking at hard skills, what are some of the things that we want to look at as a developer? Obviously we're here with formal education. We've been running hackathons, which are great. There's Monash has just run one, and we can't wait to find out who the winners are. There's Algorand runs Greenhouse Hacks regularly, and I'm proud to say that I partnered with a hacker, and she won the last Algorand Greenhouse Hack. Say that fast. For an idea that we have. So that was really fun to be a participant as well. Micro-credentialing is the future. You can do free, cheap courses. You can see here Udemy's running a blockchain course for $50, $40. How much fun is that? You've got to learn in Solidity, you can learn in Reach. Most importantly, keeping your LinkedIn up to date. Amazingly, this guy rang me up and he said, I would like a job in blockchain. And I looked at his LinkedIn and I said, well, you better go and volunteer because you haven't got anything on your LinkedIn. And said, I've been working in it for years. I said, well, your LinkedIn doesn't say that, does it? He ended up working for the Blockchain Academy, and his LinkedIn is now full of his blockchain experience. So that's been really exciting to have that conversation. And when you do put crypto enthusiast or blockchain enthusiast, your LinkedIn completely changes. You get all these contacts that you never had before. It's kind of like a wink and a nod on LinkedIn. Make sure your GitHub is up to date. You've got good examples of your programming skills. And be passionate, have a passion project. What are the other roles we're going to see in the blockchain industry? Obviously there's the developers, the analysts, the architects. As we saw, we need people thinking about the UX and the UI. This is not an easy space to work in. It's not an easy space to trade in. Anyone who can improve that is going to really make a mark on it. We're very blessed to have community managers in our space. That's a role that didn't exist before, building up the community. Obviously we still need marketers and business development people, partnerships. The lawyers, they say that the lawyers are the first people that make money on an idea, right? So we need lawyers. And this idea of sociology and psychology, thinking about how humans interact with technology. We love a good operations person, keeping us sane and giving us things like employment contracts and employment policies and procedures. And with the NFT space, we've got lots of artists and graphic designers coming in as well. Educators, entrepreneurs, and a good old tokenomics expert doesn't go astray either. So what do we want to know? Everyone's talking about ChatGPT. We want to know, are robots going to take my job? So it's possible that AI could automate some tasks, according to ChatGPT, currently performed by developers, but it's unlikely that AI will fully replace the role of a developer. Developers often need to make decisions that require creativity and problem solving, which are difficult for the AI to replicate. So technically you could go and get AI to write your code, but you really need to understand what it's writing. And also rubbish in, rubbish out, it's just scraping the internet. So it might have inherent problems, so you need to be checking it as well. So what can AI do, and what will it be doing in the future? Let's start with smart cars. Has anyone got a smart car that tells you when to brake when you go around the corner? Anyone? I just got a Toyota Corolla. It's a hybrid. And as I go around the corner, it sees a parked car and it says, brake, brake, brake. And it's like, no, that car's on the side. It's not that smart yet, but self-driving cars are not far away. And in fact, they just need to be a little bit better than us, don't they? Because they don't get drunk and they don't get tired. So self-driving cars are probably the first thing that we're going to see. And there is a cruise that uses a self-driving car, and it automatically calls the police and the ambulance when the passenger is unresponsive. But 100% of the time, those people were just asleep. So think about that. Health insurance, superannuation, all those things. And so they're the biggest cost. Only 3% of Uber drivers who sign up actually become drivers, and they lose 50% of their drivers every year. So for them, the human cost of Uber driving, they're going to Uber themselves and have self-driving cars very soon. Algorithms and dating. This is a bit of fun. So how are algorithms are going to affect our dating? So the online dating industry is worth more than $4 billion. There's a lot of players in this space, and they have AI and data that can actually look at preferences. So they look at what your skills are, what your preferences are in terms of dating. There's a AI-enabled chatbot called Lara who guides people through the process of romance and offers suggestions based up to personal factors. There are AIs that can actually read body language and things like that. So they're looking at what in your videos, what your preferences are and how to match you. 70% of people say that they would give the AI their personal data, such as their DNA and their personal data, if the dating app would actually give them a guarantee of meeting their future partner. So we are willing to give up a lot to find love. The recruitment industry is also a really interesting one. So they're using AI to scan the CVs and to have a look at who is going to be hired and give a shortlist. So remembering that there is a lot of bias out there, even as a human recruiter, where there's bias around surnames and about countries and about unis and which ones we're going to look at. And we like to often hire in the write code, update projects, create documents, analyse data, provide customer service, write your email replies. In fact, I think Pete was telling me yesterday that there's a job that is paying hundreds of thousands of dollars just to write the prompts for ChatGPT and some of the AIs. Here's a job that we didn't know existed. Would you get like to be paid a few $100,000 just to write prompts for ChatGPT? That would be a fun job. So in the future, we're looking at self-sovereign ID. Who owns my ID? How will I be able to share my CV, my education, my certifications? I'm hoping that we will get rid of these vaccination proofs and giving away our birth dates and all those things and our Medicare numbers when we have to use those sorts of systems, and we will be able to own those sorts of ID. And soul-bound tokens, has anyone heard of soul-bound tokens? Yeah, so Vitalik put out a paper, he's the founder of Ethereum, about how we're going to get our own tokens. And these are based on the War of Witchcraft, I think. That's where the soul comes from, the game. And so we will get our own NFTs. So let's say we graduate from Monash, we'll have that, we'll own that. That will be a private NFT. And people will be able to view it without permission, but we'll never be able to sell it or share it with anybody else. So what's your purpose? Finding your purpose is really, really important, and being able to educate yourself in speaking that really loudly and clearly when you go for a job or when you come to one of these events. Practice that. Make sure your LinkedIn's on and it's up to date. Share your stories about your passions on your socials. You don't have to write it yourself. Pick a topic. What's your brand? Is your brand about developers? Is it about AI? What is it? Share it on LinkedIn. Build your reputation about that brand. Come to meetups. Join a project. Volunteer when you have to at the beginning. Being a volunteer is really important. Say yes to everything in the beginning. Have a side gig. And we all need to overcome imposter syndrome. We all feel it. Let's acknowledge it. Good luck with your career in blockchain. Thank you.